Seinfeld is empirically the greatest show of all time. There's no debate.
I'd been after Jerry for a while. It started as a no changed to not right now, a not right now changed to maybe someday, a someday changed to, we're gonna make it work.
Seinfeld's the biggest guest we've ever had. For Graham to agree to just have 1 hour sit down, that means they're a big name.
On the day of the interview, everything was all set to go except our host.
I was not late for Seinfeld, by the way. That's what's gonna play right now.
How do you feel now if you're Graham Bensinger, keeping me waiting?
I was early. Okay, I was more than a half hour early. Normally I show up 10 minutes before the taping starts. It's Seinfeld, so I'm like, I will get there, 35 minutes ahead of time or whatever it was. And then he's like in the interview chair 20 minutes before start.
What's wrong with this picture? What about this doesn't make sense? What the hell? Jesus Christ. What the waiting?
Jerry just wanted to sit down early and make Graham uncomfortable and have some fun with it, and that's exactly what he did.
I think to Jerry's credit, he knew we typically have a lot more time for one of these episode filmings than he was willing to give. And so I think his way of helping us out was arriving extra early for it. And I have a ton of respect for him for doing that and will be forever grateful.
There were a few moments throughout the interview where you knew Jerry was trying to take advantage of, Graham. He saw moments where he could kind of give him a little bit of crap and egg him on a little bit, and he did that.
Jerry is known for giving people a hard time, and sometimes playfully, other times not. And I wasn't quite sure how this interview would go, but I was pleasantly surprised that, when he gave me a hard time, it seemed to be in good fun as opposed to, the opposite.
On the transcendental meditation front, I
Yeah.
believe you do it at least twice daily.
At least twice, sometimes more.
You said it's the greatest thing as a life tool, as a work tool, and just making things make sense.
Right. Do you
How
do
so?
meditation?
I don't. I've tried it once, but
Oh, great. Good try.
Yeah, the part where Graham asks him if having children changed him. Yeah, cut to Jerry's response.
how did having children impact your life?
You don't have kids.
I don't. I'd like
Only
to.
someone that doesn't have kids would ask that question.
Okay, well, here was the connective.
How did it impact your life?
Here was the.
How did having a human body impact your life?
So here was the connective quote. Had you
What
said?
did it feel like to be just a spirit sparking through the galaxy, and then you took the form of humanity? How did that change you?
It's always nice to have a guest that's not afraid to poke fun at Graham, especially when that guest is Jerry Seinfeld.
We filmed the Seinfeld interview in a very lovely brownstone in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Really great spot, and it had a fireplace.
I have a kind of a rule where if there's a fireplace in the shot, I want there to be a fire in it. It's kind of like a TV, a TV turned off, it just looks like a black mirror.
And since the fire was going, I saw it slowly starting to die throughout the hour we had with Jerry.
The fire experienced some shrinkage.
And I had to make a decision. Was it worth stopping the interview and getting less time with Jerry to build the fire back up, or just have the fire dying, throughout the interview? I made the decision that I thought was best for the team.
Seinfeld was one of those where, never meet your heroes kind of a thing. I was really nervous that he was going to be cold or kind of a but he was so nice. The first thing he did was walk around and introduce himself to everybody on the crew, which I didn't expect. He didn't have to do that. Most people don't do that.
And he gave us, I think, maybe one of the best lines talking about Graham and the show and how prepared Graham was for the interview.
Jerry, how do you think this guy did?
Very well. Very, very good.
Pretty thorough.
Extremely thorough. Beyond thorough. Most thorough interview I've ever had.
Literally, that is one of my favorite moments we've ever captured. Self-serving, obviously, but it was so cool.
He went into amazing detail. Oh, yeah. Very impressive.
And he said he watched the show too, and I am like full of
I always like the show. I watch it all the time.
Oh, please.
I do. What's the difference?
What do you mean, what's the
What's
difference?
the difference in this show and every other show?
Obviously,
What
the
you
amazing
do,
host.
what you prepare well.
Well, at least he claims that he watches the show. I was like, man, I should really try harder. No, I'm joking. I try really hard.